Hi guys, and welcome to my 9th yoga quarantine vinyasa flow of Yoga with Katie Callan. I'm Katie Callan, and today's peak posture is going to be trikonasana, or triangle pose. So it involves a lot of stretching of the hips and the lower back and opening up the chest today in order to get into that peak posture. So prop that you might need, you might want a yoga block or two or a foam roller, just something nearby. There's also variations without a prop. So let's get on the mat. So we're going to start in a seated position with our legs crossed this morning. You can put your knees out in front of you if you have any knee problems. Just go ahead and roll the shoulders away from the ears. Elongate the spine. Elongate the neck. And bring your hands on top of your thighs or over your knees. And just close your eyes. Observe the breath here. Observe the different effects of the breath with each inhale and exhale. Try to relax the eyes, let the eyes be heavy. And let the expression on the forehead soften. Letting your thinking line spread. Take the breath into the back of the ribs area. And just check into this space at this moment. Check into your mat and check into your body. Go ahead and soften your gaze. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your right arm down, left arm reaches forward for our side stretch. Make sure you keep the glutes down. Your sitting bones down on the ground. Then take an inhale here. Exhale, bend the top arm, that elbow, and bring your hand behind your head. And we're gonna exhale, bring the elbow down to the knee, or as close as you can. Inhale, back up. Go ahead and exhale back down. Feel a rounding of the spine here. Inhale back up, and maybe you feel a little more bend and stretch in the side body. Go ahead and go with your breath a couple more times down. Inhale back up, and maybe stretch over to the side a little bit more. Go ahead and go back down. And come back up. And inhale both arms up to center. Exhale, bring the left arm down and just reach over for the side stretch. Planting the glutes down. Really stretching through the side body here. Keeping the chest open. Go ahead and bend that top arm, bringing the hand behind your head. Inhale, look at that knee, and exhale, bring the elbow down to the knee. Rounding the spine. Inhale, back up, maybe bending a little more to your side stretch. Go ahead and go back down, elbow to knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, back down, rounding the spine, rounding the back. Inhale, open back up. One more time. Inhale, open up. Go ahead and inhale, both arms up, back to center. Exhale, rest your arms by your side. Good. Now come on to your hands and knees for tabletop position. And come onto all fours. So just make sure that your shoulders align with your wrists here and that your hips are over your knees. And we're going to do some hip circles here. So go ahead and send your hips back and then move your weight over to the right and then forward. Then sending it to the left and back into child's pose. Now reverse your circle. Bring it to the left this time. Forward, right, and then back, hovering over those heels. Now go back and forth, reversing your circle. Exhaling as you send your hips back. One more time. Just really loosening up the hips here, getting them ready for today's practice. And then when you're ready, go ahead and sit back into child's pose. Go ahead and connect to your breath. On your next inhale, round the spine, come back up to your hands. Tuck your toes underneath and slowly press your hips up to the sky. Now let's keep the knees bent to start. Slowly shifting your weight over to the right, pointing your knees over to the left. One breath here. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale at center. Inhale, point your knees over to the right, send your weight to the left. Inhale here. Exhale, relax, using your abs. And inhale, back to center. Go ahead and press your heels down for downward facing dog. And straighten those legs. Go ahead and pedal it out here for a moment. Bending one knee and pushing the other heel down. Your elbows are pointing down, so your shoulders are actually going into the body. Go ahead and lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift one more time. And this time we're going to step back into plank. Now on our exhale, we're going to send our hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, round the back into plank. Exhale into plank. Inhale, in plank. Exhale, send the hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale into plank. You're making a wave with your spine right now. Inhale into position. Exhale, transition. One more time here. Wave round the back. And then go ahead and lower down slowly to chaturanga. Hover here, hover, bring the navel into the chest and lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, or if you have the mobility in your back, go ahead and straighten your arms for upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Connect to your breath. On your next inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, jump or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slowly rise to standing, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, arms by your side, Samasthiti. Good. Take this pause to restore your breath. Feel any tension and anything you want to release in your body today. Go ahead and roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale, arms up overhead. Now turn your body over to one side. Exhale, bend the elbows, shoulder blades touch. Twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, turn to the other side. Bend the elbows, shoulder blades touch and twist from the spine. Inhale, arms up overhead, arch the back, bend the elbows, look up. Inhale your arms back up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank pose, lower down for your vinyasa. So chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're gonna do something with our legs now. So go ahead and lift your right leg up behind you. And then bring it over to the side. Bring your navel in, so your belly button to the spine. Lower that leg back down. And lift it back up on your breath. One more time. Lower, actually a couple more times. Back up. Use your abs and your hips to really do this. We're going to do this one more time after this. And lift. Lift with the hips and lower. Good. Pedal it out. Pedal the legs out here. We really want to get our core muscles and our hips muscles warmed up and working right now. So go ahead and lift your left leg up high and then bring it over to the side. Go ahead and lower it down and back up. Bring your navel in as you lower and lift it back up using your abs and your hips. Lower and lift up. And lower one, and then lift up for one more time. Use all your strength and relax. Good. Pedal it out. Pedal out now. Feel the difference in the hip muscles. We really work those in your abs. So go ahead and inhale. Lift the hips. Bend the knees. Jump or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slowly come all the way up. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, arms by your sides on a steady heat. Good, connect to your breath during this pause. Take this moment to restore the body. Go ahead and inhale your arms up. Turn to one side, bend your elbows, twist. Shoulder blades touch. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Bend those elbows. Inhale, arms up. Arch the back. Bend the elbows, look up. Inhale, arms up. Bend the knees, send the hips back for Uttanasana chair pose. So just pretend like you have an imaginary chair behind you. See if you can see your toes. Maybe send your hips a little bit further back if you can't. And then hold, breathe here. Try not to arch the back. Reach hard with your hands. Reach forward and exhale, forward fold. Good job. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, step the right leg back and lower that back knee and tuck those toes. Inhale, arms reach up for low lunge. Stretching out our hip flexors here. Make sure the buttocks bones are heavy. They're going down towards the knee. Maybe you can put your hand on your hip here. Move the pelvis forward. Ribs go in. We really feel the stretch in this front hip crease here. Then maybe do a couple lunge forwards. Maybe even looking up and back. One more breath. And go ahead and plant your hands down. Ground the left heel. Send the hips back over the back heel. And let the weight of your head fall over your left leg. Stretching out the hamstrings. This one's a hard one for me as well because I have tight hamstrings. So it's hard to keep the hips in line here. Just a couple breaths, maybe do a few pulses. Just really feel a stretch in the leg as you try to straighten the leg, keeping that front foot flexed. Go ahead and inhale, plant the left leg, come back up into low lunge, reaching your arms up overhead, and then feeling that stretch back into our hips. Go ahead and try to bring the pelvis, tilt it forward. Buttocks muscles are heavy. Try to keep the bend in the front knee. The knee should be in line with the ankle or close. Maybe do a few pulses here to really feel that stretch in the front body. You bend backwards a bit. Go ahead and inhale, lengthen. Exhale, send the hips back. Lifting that heel, keeping it grounded. And feeling that stretch in your left hamstring, the back of that whole leg. Go as back as you need to. Bend that knee as much as you need to. Try to open up your collarbone. Try to open your chest a bit. Broadening your chest, keeping it open towards the front of the mat. Trying to keep the belly on the top of that thigh. And maybe, because then you're kind of tilting the pelvis backwards, right? So then you're pulling on the belly of the hamstring a lot more. You're trying to arch your back in a way. Go ahead and ground that left foot. Frame that front foot. Pick up that back knee for runner's lunge. Step it back into plank pose. Let's go through our vinyasa. Just lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, or straighten your arms for upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Then now let's inhale the right leg up. Step it between the hands. And go ahead and lower that back, the left knee down. Inhale, arms come up overhead for our low lunge on the right side now. So go ahead and feel the stretch in that left hip crease here. Buttocks muscles are heavy. You really want to open up the hips right now so we can get into our peak pose a lot better. Maybe even contracting this hamstring so this thigh goes more into the hips. And you feel it a lot more in the hips and the psoas. When you do it through pulses with the knee, or even look up, bending backwards a bit. Relax with every exhale, relax the muscles. And then go ahead and send the hips back, plant the right heel. Let the weight of the head come down to that leg. Keeping that right foot flexed. And try to keep your hips in line here. Maybe in opening your chest, trying to bring the chest down to the thigh up to the chest. Maybe even trying to arch the back a bit so the pelvis goes back, pulling the hamstrings even further. Couple more breaths. Go ahead and plant that front foot. Inhale, arms up for low lunge. Really feel a stretch in the front hamstring, front hip flexor here. Inhale, reach up high, pulling the upper body out of the lower body and really feeling that stretch through your leg, through your abdomen. Breathe, exhale, just relax. Inhale, one more time to lengthen. Exhale, send the hips back, ground that right heel. The weight of the head goes down towards the right leg. Now this is a hard pose. This isn't an easy pose. It's hard to get into the hamstring. It's hard to just open them up and balance here. Trying to straighten the leg, yet bring the chest to the thigh. It's okay to bend the knee and bring the thigh to the chest. Maybe you feel it even more that way. We try to arch the back a little bit, pulling the hamstrings further back with it. One more breath. Go ahead and plant that right foot. Frame the front foot. Lift the back knee up and step it forward to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, fold over your thighs. Bring your chest to your thighs. Kind of a micro bend in the knees here. Inhale, bend the knees. Arms reach forward for Uttanasana, chair pose, our favorite. Go back for that chair behind you. Maybe you lift the toes a little bit to send the weight more into all four corners of your feet. Try not to arch the back here. Reach forward. Look up at your hands. Inhale, straighten the legs to standing, arms by, exhale, arms by your side. Tough one. So now we're gonna go ahead into our main pose, which is trikonasana, triangle pose. So we're gonna come wide to our mat. So go ahead and get your prop if you need to, and put it next to the right leg right now, kind of behind the right leg. So this pose is really great for the lower back and the hips because it's gonna stretch the QL back here and then the psoas. And it also opens up the chest. But we're gonna go ahead and stand wide to the mat. Make sure that you're, find your wrist to ankle connection. So you want your ankles ideally to be right under the wrist. Toes are pointing forward. And you can put your hands on your hips now as I explain a little bit. So you want to lift to the inner arches here. So feel the connection to the earth here. If you don't, maybe you put your toes in a little bit further so you really feel the inner leg here. Go ahead and extend your arms long. Open your chest. And the tailbone's going to tuck down and lengthen down. So you have a long spine. And then you want your shoulder blades, roll them down and away from the ears. The shoulder blades are almost touching. You can turn your palms up, because then that kind of brings your arms back a bit. You want this feeling here. So go ahead and put them back down. Okay. And then so we're gonna turn the right toes out, left toes turn in a bit. So you can have I have a heel to arch connection here. If you'd like a wider base, you can heel toe the right foot out a little bit more to the right, so you have more stability. It's all a yogi's choice. So go ahead and send the left hip back towards the back of the mat as I reach my right fingertips forward. So you don't want to collapse here in the right side body. You want to keep it as long as possible. I'm sending my hips back straight, and then I'm trying to keep it straight in front of me. The hips can turn a bit, but you just want to reach forward as much as you can and keep sending those hips back. Keep sending them back and reach, keeping it straight, navel in, and try to squeeze your glutes together. Go ahead and rest your right arm down to your shin or the block behind your foot. I like to put my fingertips on my shin so that I can adjust as I breathe. Sometimes I feel more open as I go more into the pose. But I want to keep it open here. Let me do a little. There. So you guys can see a little bit more. But go ahead and squeeze your glutes together. When you squeeze them together, the pelvis opens forward. You want this action, and you feel the stretch a lot more. Keeping your hips over to the left, right side body open. Ribs are down and in, and you're really using a lot of your core to hold a lot of your weight. One more breath here. Feel the evenness from the crown of the head to the tailbone here. Deep breath, relax. If you have knee problems, you can bend the front knee. Otherwise, let's inhale, ground the feet, strong legs, lift back up into our pose. Exhale, hands onto your hips. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Go ahead and move your left toes over to point to the front of the mat, and the right toes are slightly inward. So go ahead and find that connection, either heel to arch or heel to heel. So left toes are pointing forward, right toes are slightly inward. Okay. And then go ahead and bring your arms out, open up the chest, tuck the tailbone in so you have this long spine. Maybe you flip your palms up to have that back, arms back feeling. And then switch them back over. Go ahead and send the hips back to the right, reaching with your left hands. Your left fingertips are reaching forward, keeping the heart lifted. Side body is nice and long. So don't collapse here, keep it nice and long. Keep reaching. You want to feel a line from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Keeping the side body open, chest lifted. Reach forward and then go ahead and let your left arm go down to the block behind you or to your shin. Go ahead and bring the right arm up overhead, or you can bring it to your hip if you'd like, or over your head as so. Your gaze can be forward or down. Go ahead and squeeze your glutes together, open up the pelvis. Then you start feeling a really big stretch right here in the hips and the psoas. It's the psoas right there. Just breathe here in your stretch. If your knee's hurting you, put a slight bend in it. Just keeping a weight in your core. You don't want to collapse into your leg. Good, one more breath here, guys. And exhale, relax. Go ahead and press your feet into the ground, strong legs. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands to your hips. Good. Go ahead and point your feet forward. And then we'll go ahead and do a forward fold. Let's go down, hinge from the hips. Bringing your hands to the ground. Relax here for a breath. If you can't reach the ground, you can also use a prop to bring the earth to you. Your choice. You can step your feet together if you'd like. And now we're going to alternate cross arms on our legs. So go ahead and put your right arm on your left leg, left arm on your right leg, and just hang here. If you can't reach your legs, you can grab onto your pants or just let your arms hang in space. We're going to breathe into our upper body. Just spread our shoulder blades apart. Deep breaths here, spread the upper back. One more breath. Inhale, halfway lift, and then switch whichever arm was on top. So if you have one arm on top, just put the other arm on top, and then exhale, fold forward. And then breathe into that upper back. Feel your shoulder blades separate. And exhale, they come back together. Inhale, stretch those muscles. Exhale, relax. One more breath. And relax. Relax the arms to center or put them at your hips. Inhale will slowly come all the way up. Good. Good time. So go ahead and you can put your hands together, bend the knees, and then hop back together. Or just come back together however you like. That's just a fun way to do it. Good job, Richie. Yeah, we're going to come onto our backs now, start doing some closing postures since we really just opened up the body this afternoon. So go ahead and come onto your backs. You can do some really big rocks right now. Since we just opened up the shoulders, this feels really good on the back. Go ahead and do a few big rocks here, and then slowly relax the rocks to stillness. Good. And when you're ready, you can hug the knees into the chest, and then release the feet down to the ground. Go ahead and bring the right leg over onto the left thigh, right ankle to left thigh, and then lift the left leg for our figure 4 stretch. Did a lot of work with the legs today, so you really want to just stretch the outside of the leg now. Try to keep the feet flexed here, bringing the leg close to the chest, but try to keep the lower body, the lower back down onto the ground. As you pull the left leg closer to your chest, bringing the right leg with it and opening up the right side thigh. On your exhales, release the tension. Go ahead and relax the left leg back down and switch whichever leg was on top. So bringing the left ankle on top of the right thigh, right over the knee, and then hugging the right knee in by interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. And so use my elbow to push the left thigh, left elbow to left knee, and I try to push that to the side as I hug my legs closer to the chest. Keep the lower back down, head relaxed. Take deep breaths here just to feel the body relax. Try to pull it in so you really feel this stretch on the left side thigh like you did on the right. Let's do one more big breath here, guys. Stretch. And relaxing exhale in the stretch. Go ahead and relax the legs down. Maybe windshield wiper the knees back and forth. And then go ahead and hug the knees into the chest, close. Exhale, send the knees over to the right for a spinal twist. Maybe move the hips over to the center a little bit more. And send your gaze over to the left, over to your left hand. Really twisting from the spine here. And closing our hips. Just relax your breath in these poses. You bring the knees a little bit closer to you. Maybe you feel the stretch even more. One more deep inhale here. Relaxing exhale. Go ahead and inhale, bring your knees into your chest. Exhale, send them over to the left. Maybe moving the hips a little more to the center. And sending your gaze over to the right. Feel a stretch of those spinal muscles. Let's do one more big breath together. Inhale. Relaxing exhale. Go ahead and inhale the knees back into the chest. Exhale, extend the legs long. Let your feet flop out to the side. Relax the muscles in the body. Relax your arms by your side. Let the shoulder heads be heavy towards the ground. We're really opening the chest here, maybe tucking the shoulder blades underneath. And just settle out any other wiggles you need to get out to come into Savasana. Start relaxing your breath. Relax your facial muscles. And your eyebrows soften. The muscles around your eyes to soften. The muscles around your mouth to soften. And allow your neck and your head just to be heavy. Allow your arms and your chest to be heavy. Allow your legs and your feet to just be heavy. Go ahead and start bringing awareness to the body by deepening your inhale. Go ahead and put your left arm onto your heart, right arm onto your belly. And together let's do an Om with the lips closed. So just a kind of a hum. So together let's inhale. Go ahead and reach your arms up overhead for a full body stretch, stretching your arms up and your feet down. Exhale, turn over to your right side using your right arm as a pillow. Use your left hand to push against the ground, pushing your body up and come into a seated position. I hope you guys enjoyed this practice today and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.